Hi, thank you very much for joining me. So which card did you pick then? 1, 2 or 3? That's the question. In this video we'll turn them over and we'll find out. All these cards today are from this deck, the Starman Tarot. Maybe the video's flipped that, I don't know, but it says Starman Tarot. It's by David De Angelis and it's based on artwork that he actually did for David Bowie. So it's the eve of Mercury retrograde, and no doubt change is coming. No doubt for a lot of us it's going to be more of the same, but somehow the thrust of things is going to change, because that's what Mercury retrograde does. There's always something to learn. So let's turn over the top card and see what card number 1 is. And it is Ace of Swords. There we go. Right, so the sword's all about really getting things done, you know, and that's really always on the back of making big, heavy decisions, and that's what the Suit of Swords tends to be about, is what are you actually going to decide to do, which way are you going to go with this thing, or whatever else you're wondering about in life. Mercury retrograde kind of throws things off a bit, doesn't it? And no more so in terms of deciding what you want to do, because things tend to go up in the air a bit. Well, this Mercury retrograde is in Cancer throughout. It starts at 14 degrees of Cancer, moves back to 5 degrees of Cancer, and then comes forward again to 14 degrees of Cancer and drops us off exactly where it picked us up in the first place. And Mercury is at home in Cancer. So I hope this one isn't going to be too intense. There are bound to be lessons, and with the Ace of Swords, this has a lot to do with kind of trying to live through your own highest values. You know, that's what it actually says in the book that goes with the Starman Tarot. I live through my highest values. Now then, in Mercury retrograde, things tend to assert themselves that maybe aren't part of our normal value system. That can be really difficult. That can be really awkward. But at the same time, it's showing us the other side of the coin. It's showing us a different way, something new about that. And there are always opportunities to kind of add to your intellect, you know, to add to what you know about the world. And really to add experience as well. We do get experiences in Mercury retrograde, and they're always teaching experiences. They're teaching us where to go next, and not only that, but they're also giving us some extra knowledge to file away, so that the next time we really need that knowledge, we can bring it out and actually use it. There is great alchemy in this card. If I just hold it up as close as I can there. Beautiful colours in this deck, actually. I'm really enjoying working with it, because it's just it's really inspiring, you know. Now everything there is above a sea of blue water, isn't it? So there's some turquoise there, so speak your truth. Don't let anyone put you off speaking your truth. That's always important. But there's also some higher heart chakra pink there, so I'm going to turn my attention to the heart and say, see this as a cleansing experience, whatever Mercury retrograde brings, and it actually can be incredibly positive, especially when we've got Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Also, actually, Mercury is making a very happy aspect with the brightest star in the sky, which is Sirius, and that portends really well. I'm lost for words, but it portends really very well indeed. It's also making an aspect with an asteroid called Tejat or Tehat Posterior. I'm not sure how to pronounce Tehat or Tejat, but it's making a positive aspect with that, and that is actually bringing a lot of wisdom to bear. So as we think about the Ace of Swords and the energy about the whole Suit of Swords, which is about really making a decision, we're sort of at the beginning of a journey here, because it's the Ace of Swords. So let that water cleanse you. Visualize it, believe it. Let that water cleanse you, okay? And let your heart lead the way. That's what I'm trying to say, because this sword is actually growing out of that heart chakra pink in the middle. Even looks like it's got some ribs around it here, so that really is a lot like the human heart. And as it reaches up into the skies, we've got two angelic figures here, and it's going up between them, so it's combining both their energy, and it's also cutting away the nonsense, making things a bit easier to understand. So that is card number 1. Basically, you want to be looking for new ways to reach your potential, most certainly, but also honor the potential you've already got. Believe in yourself. That's really an important thing whenever a thing like Mercury retrograde comes up and looks as if it's kind of threatening to get in the way. That's the way we need to see it. Okay, so card number 2, and I did actually shuffle these and draw them earlier so I could take the picture, you know, what's it called, the thumbnail for the video. What's the fella? Card number 2, did you pick card number 2? It is the 5 of Pentacles. This looks much more complicated, doesn't it? And it doesn't have the warmth of the Ace of Swords that we looked at a second ago. If you pick this card, you might very well be feeling rather out in the cold at the present time. On the other hand, you might just be starting to make plans about what's going to change, what's going to improve as you go forward, because you really are going to go forward. There's something of the stuck energy about this card, but it comes in when you're actually about to start moving forward again. Even as Mercury is moving backwards, you'll be able to do that. In the book for this card, it says 5 of Pentacles, I am desperate and destitute. Well, I'm really sorry if you feel like that, friends. I know life gets like that. I've been there so many times, and it is very much a part of the human condition to feel that way. But really, you're not completely destitute. That's a feeling, you know. There are always resources in this world, and we can always tap into them sometimes, particularly in any spiritual kind of way. So I'm saying it again. I said it for the Ace of Swords, and I'm saying it for this. Visualize and believe, you know, think of what you want, see it happening, believe it can happen, because it really can. Every time, you know, it really can happen. You've just got to keep on believing it. We've usually got some kind of feeling of bereavement in the past. Maybe something didn't work out, maybe someone passed away and left you feeling really kind of destitute and desperate in that way. That's a terrible thing when it happens. But it is important to move on as successfully as possible. And a good thing to think about with that, and I've said this before about the 5 of Pentacles, there is a village somewhere in the world, I forget where it is, and in that village, if any member of the community passes away, goes to the other side, their body dies, then the rest of the village will all change something in their house and just move something around, or maybe in the garden. They'll just move something that's always been there to somewhere else as an acknowledgement that nothing will ever be the same. And then, of course, they'll get on with their lives and keep moving. And that is the answer to whatever's gone in the past, friends. Just keep on moving, because life has a story, and there's always a flow to it. We're always saying go with the flow. What's going to happen if you don't go with the flow? The flow is going to go without you. That's the truth. It also says in the book for this card, examine your own relationship with poverty. Now, there is a thing to think about, isn't it? We're always creating our own reality in terms of what we think, what we imagine, and that's why I'm saying visualize and believe in your heart that it can be good, because it really can be. And you may find some kind of really good things within your actual own heart when you start thinking positive about it. There are bound to be things you can do to keep moving, to keep the energy flowing, and to keep actually going forward. Now, Mercury retrograde does bring up all kinds of challenges around our awareness of things and how things feel for us, but take that as a positive thing. Actually examine those feelings and examine what can be good. Think closely, think carefully about that. And if you just feel that you're not up to the task, you know, if you just feel that you haven't got enough about you, well, that is an illusion. The human mind throws illusions at us all the time. So crack that illusion, okay, and take the attitude that you're not going to let anything stop you. Because as gloomy as this picture is, the colours in it are actually beautiful, and they could all be rearranged into a much happier looking card. And so, friends, if you picked card number 2, the 5 of Pentacles, have the mindset of rearranging your life so it kind of works better, because you have got the resources. That's the other side of the meaning of this card. It really is. Okay, so what was card number 3? Let's turn it over and see. And it is, in fact, the 8 of Wands. Now, this is great. This tends to mean, in any deck, excuse me, in any deck, this means fast-moving progress. This means the flow isn't going to be stopped. And that is very true of this Mercury retrograde. It's one of the most positive ones there's ever been. Do check out my astrology channel, by the way. It's called Astro Truth, capital A, Astro, capital T, Truth, all as one word. because there are other people using that name but spelling it differently. Astro Truth, I put a video up there the other day all about this Mercury retrograde, going into all the details, and it is in Cancer. Mercury's comfortable in Cancer, so it's not going to stop the flow too much, okay? And the Eight of Wands, if you picked it, says that, you know, things are moving fast for you, and that is not going to stop just because of Mercury retrograde. Now then, you've got to take the attitude that you can make this happen. You know, we get these opportunities, we get this fast flowing energy going, and we sometimes think, oh, I can't deal with that, I'm going to have a cigarette instead, you know. Keep the flow going, keep it up, keep on moving, you know. Use your initiative, that's the thing to do. It says in the book for this one, I can make this happen. And you really can, friends, if you chose card number 3. In fact, if you chose any of the cards where you weren't even sure, you just wanted to kind of see what they all say, you can make this happen. It's a human fact. Nothing gets thrown at us by life, by the universe, by anything until we're actually ready to handle it. That's one of the great spiritual truths. And we can see a great pillar going straight up the card to the great ball of beautiful light at the top there, and it's a bang, you're going straight up. Things are going to work, things are going to really get moving for you, as long as you actually take initiative and have the mindset that you're going to push, you're going to work, you're going to do what it takes to bring this improvement into your life. There is always energy available. That energy might be with you, it might be with your family, it might be with your friends. If you're down at the moment and you're thinking, oh no way, there are people who will help you, okay? Make use of that energy. It's not like a cheat or anything to make use of energy. That's what life is all about, and that's where the journey is always going. Okay, so make use of that energy. It's the only show in town when it comes to getting through a Mercury retrograde or getting through life or anything else. So I am going to wrap it up there. Have a good Mercury retrograde, folks. That's a really crazy, wacky sort of a thing to say, isn't it? But it is actually more than possible to have a good one this time around. It's a nice, gentle one. Check out the video on Astro Truth. It says all about it. Also, why not follow me on social media? I'm going to put the links down there. We've got Facebook, we've got Reddit, we've got Instagram, we've got Twitter. And I'm working on some more because I like to get my feelers out and do what I can. Meanwhile, you know, have a good time ahead, whatever's happening to you, friends. And if you're not in such a happy place at the moment, keep on looking up, okay? Because the answers are up there, not down there. That's the truth, you know. Just keep on looking at the skies and reach for the skies within yourself. Whatever might come up in Mercury retrograde, if it's not as good as I've been suggesting for you, then, you know, take it as a lesson, okay? Because when we get to the end of this Mercury retrograde, which is around about the 12th of July, I think. I haven't got it written down in front of me, but it's about 3 weeks from today when I'm posting this video anyway. Mercury retrograde actually ends, then we have a post shadow, and then everything works itself out again. Round about the end of it, round about the post shadow, you're going to be thinking, oh, I know what that meant. So don't let it get you down in the meantime. That's the most important thing. Anyway, thumbs up please if you've enjoyed this one. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Help me get to 1,000 subs. Only like 150-ish to go. If you're watching in the future, hopefully I'm at 1,000 subs by now. But hit the subscribe button anyway. It helps the channel. Thumbs up. Leave me a comment as well, guys. That really helps to zero in the spiritual energy, because I know who I'm doing readings for. My guides know who I'm doing readings for. Your guides know you're listening to me, which goodness knows how good that really is, but I think it's no bad thing. Okay, take care, my friends. See you again very soon, and peace and love and light to you forever.